You asked about an unauthorized change, and Evolven handles unauthorized changes by correlating the changes that we already see with an authorization source. This is typically something like ServiceNow, like I have here, or some other ITSM tool. It can also be a Puppet, Chef, Ansible, or some other CI/CD process. It's up to you what your authorization sources are, but those are the usual ones. Now, when we see an authorization source, we get a change request, and we correlate the changes we've already seen in the environment through our native collection with that change request, typically by CI, date and time, environment name, and a bunch of other factors. Now, what do we do with those change requests, or what do we do with those changes that we see? Here's a change request, 987113. We group those changes together and say, here are all the changes we saw. But you still get the other benefits, the consistency summary to show drift. We show you the risk evaluation of the changes. In this case, I'm looking at table columns being added to a particular database, and in fact, some table columns being removed, as well as some changes to the maximum length of other columns. Very important changes. Now those are grouped together, and that's perfect. If I look at 987114, I can see some additional changes here to WebSphere MQ, and those are grouped together as well, still made consistently across the environment. Here's the great thing. Some changes are made automatically. We can have manually authorized changes. We can have OS hot fixes, which are done automatically. Those can be grouped together. They can also come from Puppet, Chef, or something like that, like you see here. And then we have the ones that are unauthorized. These are the changes that we can't reconcile. We could not correlate with an authorization source. Very typically, we see unauthorized changes also lead to drift. And like in this case, we have one server that was updated and the other two weren't. It's an unauthorized change, and it's also high risk. Pretty common that we see that. Don't forget that Evolven covers everything in your IT infrastructure. So I spent a lot of time on servers, but you see some things here that are in Lambda services, as well as we see some F5 and some other things here, as well as our WAS servers. So Evolven has you covered when it comes to unauthorized changes.